Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another tier list video. This video comes from Entertainment Talker 22. I think that was the user's name, or the user's handle at least. And it got a lot of likes, so I thought, well, it got a fair few likes, so I thought, why not? We'll do this video. Now, I just want to say, earlier today, I did release a video, which was the part 3 to my ranking every episode, and the audio didn't record, which was a pain because it was an hour and 40 minutes of me talking to basically useless. I just wasted almost 2 hours of my life, basically. But whatever, these things happen, so it's all right. We'll just keep steaming on. But I decided not to redo it tonight because I kind of had already talked about that, so I didn't want to be having the same conversation twice for 2 hours. Well, for 4 hours actually in the same day. So I'll do that video later in the week, maybe. And yeah. I'll bring it eventually, though. So this idea was basically what character deserves their own spin-off. What Walking Dead character deserves their own spin-off. So this is going to apply to even the dead characters. You know, even the dead guys on the ground. They get the Good Spirit Award for sure. Whatever Negan said in the episode. Yeah. I haven't added any extra characters, so this is just the notable character tier list. I haven't added any because most of the ones I'm going to add are obviously not deserving of a spin-off, so there was no real point adding some of the more minor ones because, yeah, because it was going to be the same result, so whatever. So these are the tiers we've got. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. We've got spin-off lead, so basically this is where I think the character probably should take a protagonist role or a main role in the spin-off, or in a spin-off. So for example, like Negan and Maggie would be this, or Daryl or Carol or whatever. And then we've obviously got supporting roles. This is like, I want them to be in a spin-off, but I think they probably should just take a more supporting role. A cameo for at most is basically like, or at best even, this is for characters who I probably don't think should be like a big character in a spin-off, but if they had a cameo, that would be cool. Nah, but is like, I probably wouldn't want them to have a spin-off, but if they did, I could see it maybe working, and then no way we're done with them. It's like, we're done with this character, they're dead, we're done, whatever, let's not have a spin-off. So yeah, that's my tier lists, so let's get into it. Those are my tiers even. So let's start off. Who should we start off with? Should we start off with the people who actually have spin-offs? Maybe that might be best. So Daryl. Now, I don't know. I know I've talked in the past that I kind of feel like Daryl should have been one of the lineup victims. I stand by that, but obviously he's not. He's not a lineup victim. He is still alive. And I think for the most part, I'm okay with Daryl Dixon. I think it's a show that has problems, but I mean, I like aspects of it. I like going around the globe. That's kind of cool, although it's a bit silly how they do it. And I am excited to see a season 3 and see what they do with that. And maybe, you know, it got better a little bit for me, Daryl Dixon season 2 in the middle there. It got like, it improved a bit, and then it kind of plummeted again. Season 2 was a weird season because I found season 1 just kind of boring. Like, it wasn't bad, it was just a bit slow and a bit boring for me. Season 2, I just kind of thought, like, had some really strong points, and then also just had some baffling writing. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But for the most part, sure, I'm okay with Daryl Dixon. I wouldn't want it to be cancelled or anything, or for them just yeah. So at this point in time, I'm gonna say sure. Leave him in his lead role. Then we got Maggie. I'm going to say the same thing. I found Dead City Season 1 to be a little bit of a slog, a bit boring, not really that exciting, but it had some good moments, like Negan doing the knock knock, you know, smashing the guy through the glass. That was fun. I'm trying to find Negan as I'm talking, but it's not going very successful. And it's alphabetical order as well. There he is. Yeah. So it had some okay moments here and there. I didn't find it that great all around. I thought it was a bit contrived and a bit silly, and I don't like us retreading the whole Maggie Negan plotline. Putting those two characters together, I think, is a bit silly. But I definitely could see a spin-off in the future as well, which you know, just has Negan or just has Maggie. I think one of them could work. Or if they, in Dead City Season 2, they separate those two characters a little bit. Or I think Maggie's rescuing Negan. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen in this season. Maybe Season 2 will be really good. Who knows? And again, it's kind of the same with the Daryl show. I don't really want them to just cancel it, really. So, may as well carry on. Carry on. Again, I have my opinions on Maggie and Negan and where they what should have happened with them. I feel like they probably should have gone down the exile route for Negan. And in terms of Maggie, I think, I was happy mostly how they ended Maggie, I guess. But I just don't like pairing Maggie and Negan up constantly. To me, it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit silly. Rick, though, again, I feel like, so Ones Who Live came out, that's already a thing. So I personally would like to see a season 2 with The Ones Who Live. I think there's plenty of story potential there. I was a bit disappointed with how they ended the CRM stuff. So I'll put Michonne there as well. I was a bit disappointed with how they ended the CRM stuff personally. And I just feel like there's a world where there could be a season 2 still. For example, if you watch The World Beyond, which isn't a great show by any metric, but there's all that stuff they set up in that show that just never came to fruition, right? So, for example, the extermination of Portland was meant to happen, and I think there's a good few years between that show and this show, and that just never happened, I guess. Like, what, they were still planning to do it? Well, what stopped them? Did the kids reach Portland and warn everyone? And, like, nothing kind of resulted of that. And, like, Jadis said to Silas, like, you're going to be my pet project, and then we just never saw that. Like, we never see Silas. So I feel like there's plenty of loose threads, like Elizabeth Kublik as well. I think there should be a season 2 of The World Beyond. Sorry, The World Beyond? Oh, God, no. Season 2 of The Ones Who Live, sorry. And we should. This is my pitch. Okay, you ready for my pitch for The Ones Who Live season 2? Here we go. So Rick and Michonne, right? We do a bit of a time jump, 5 years maybe. Judith's older, obviously. We can age up the Judith then, and we can keep the same actress. What's her name? I forget her name now, but I think she's pretty good in the role, and may as well. Obviously, she's getting older. I think she's like 16, 17, the actress. I remember I looked the other day because I was looking. There was like a Comic-Con that I missed, and I was like, I thought there was like rules against like actors or whatever, and I was like, isn't she like 11? And then no, it turns out she's like 16, 17. Yeah. So age her up, 5 years jump. Rick's just taken a relaxed role. He hasn't been involved in the Commonwealth. He literally has just been a father. We can have him be a cop in the Commonwealth, right? He's been a cop in the Commonwealth, mostly low-key, just doing kind of, or he's like a sheriff in the Commonwealth. That would be like nice, right? A nice callback. He's not like a trooper. He's just like a local sheriff dealing with like local minute things, so the soldiers can deal with like, the big things like controlling swarms and all that. Playing a minor role in the Commonwealth. And Judith is now like 16, 17, and she is wanting to head to Philadelphia, to be like a blacksmith, basically. Well, not a blacksmith, a gunsmith, sorry. So they need like a gunsmith. It's like a new apprenticeship role or whatever. They don't do it in the Commonwealth. And also the Alliance of Free still exists, instead of it being obviously Nebraska. It's not Nebraska. Is it Nebraska? Omaha, or wherever it is. Yeah, Omaha, Nebraska, yeah. It's Commonwealth, Portland, and the Philadelphia, the Civic Republic city, right? Which is Philadelphia, basically. It's those three. That's the new alliance, basically. And Judith decides to go be a gunsmith over in the Philadelphia. So Rick, Michonne, and Judith travel. They leave RJ in the Commonwealth, all right? We don't have to have RJ. And they go there, and then this is when like shit goes down, right? And like I think Kublik have her get out of jail after the whole Beale thing, right? And Jada's thing. She's able to plead her case that she was framed to the council. So she gets out, make her the main villain. And I don't know, make Silas a villain as well. Bring back that guy, make him a villain. And also, fucking Heath, why not? Who cares, right? Bring Heath back as well, if you want. Or make Heath like a minor character that dies, who cares, right? And that's like the big thing. And it's like basically Portland v Philadelphia. The Commonwealth is not being targeted, but Portland is targeting Philadelphia. I haven't figured all of it out in my head, but that's basically the story. So we bring back the CRM as a villain, just not with Beale, with Kublik. But she's a bit less, I guess, less imposing maybe. But I think she had some pretty like dark moments that I think were really good. Like I think she was a bit of a standout in The World Beyond. So why not? We'll throw that, and we'll do something like that. So I think there's plenty of potential for a season 2 for both Rick and Michonne, and of course they would both be main characters in that. And then Judith would take a I think RJ would take a supporting role in that, like a very minor supporting role, maybe a cameo at best. But I'll put him in supporting role to be fair. And of course, Judith would also be a supporting role in that too. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. So shall we do? So let's just like Jim. I don't think that we should have a spin-off with Jim. Like I don't think there's anything to really retread in the whole season 1 era. Same with Jimmy and like all the farm stuff. Unfortunately, Scott Wilson passed away, so I don't think there's an opportunity to do anything with Herschel. To be honest, yeah, unless we were to do like some pre-apocalypse like flashback series of Herschel first acquiring the farm. Like, no, there's no point really. I feel the same about a lot of these early characters, so this won't be particularly interesting. But I think I'm just gonna go through chronologically and just kind of pick them out. So like Aiden, I don't think there's any much more we can do with Aiden. Alan, I don't think so. Really. Maybe a Tails. Actually, wait, no, I changed my mind on it. Aiden, I think is definitely. Alden? I don't think there's much more you can do with Alden, really. Amy, no. Andrea, unironically, I don't think so. I just don't know what would be, like, interesting with her early story, like her earlier story, to be honest. So, yeah, same with Andrew, same with Rat. Axel, I feel the same. Benjamin, I feel like his story is done as well. There's not really much more to say, really, with his. Beth is an interesting one. Because I feel like Beth could do a cameo, like, in Dead City. I feel like that would be okay. If they were to do, like, some sort of flashback with, you know, like, during the winter time jump, right, and between season 2 and 3, they could do, like, a flashback with Beth and Maggie that like relates to something going on in the story in Dead City. So I feel like, yeah, Beth could be a cameo. Herschel would be nice, but obviously because of the actor, it's literally impossible. Unless they were to CGI him, which I wouldn't like. Don't do that. Carl, I actually think, again, because the actor's aged, because the character's been dead for a while, and like maybe a cameo, like, but again, it would have to be like a younger version of the character, right? It would have to be like a child version. So again, they could maybe do something like that in The Ones Who Live, like a little cameo, like a flashback type thing. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, Carol, I forgot to do Carol. Yeah, Carol, I think is again same argument I was saying about Daryl. Obviously, she's a lead in that show too. Bob, I'll get back to Bob. Connie, Cindy. I'm actually gonna add another tier. Oh god. No. What have I done? Jesus Christ. I hate this. Boom. I'm going to add another tier, I think. Actually. I feel like it should go below supporting role. And this is going to be... I think I'm going to delete the Narbot because I don't think I'm going to need that. I think I'm going to change the tier Narbot. I've put it above a cameo at best. And I think I'm going to put Tails episode, and there's a reason for that, because I feel like Alpha and Beta both could probably have another Tails episode. I know Alpha had a Tails episode, but it was kind of shit. I think there's a little bit more you could do with the earlier Whisperers, to be honest, because, you know, we don't really know too much, and I think just to sort of sort out the mess they made with the first Tails episode, I kind of would like another one, just to sort of sort that mess out. Now, we sort of know that. So, because at the moment, with the Tails episode, the logic is that Alpha was living with Lydia on her own, right? They left that shelter in Baltimore. It was just those two kind of living. They found this boat. They joined it for a bit. They basically, the boat fell and Alpha helped to kill people. She escaped, blah, blah, blah. And then she met the Whisperers. She left the Whisperers, met Beta, told him, or she got separated from the Whisperers, showed him how to make a mask, and then she went back to the Whisperers and killed Hera, the leader of the Whisperers. Or maybe it was, I don't know what the order is, right? It's just a messy thing. So I think, like, do something with them, sort that Tails episode, actually show how Alpha overthrows Hera, the leader of the Whisperers. And maybe it could literally be that she uses Beta. I mean, that could work, actually, then. So yeah, that's what I think they should do with Tails. With Alpha and Beta in the Tails episode. Well, we were going back. David, I don't think there's much more you can do with that. Maybe I'm gonna put cameo because I think you could do. Okay, I think you could do like a Negan spin-off thing with like how they built the saviors. I think it's possible. Less so with the governor stuff, but I would love to see a governor one. But I think the governor's just been too long. But I'm gonna say it anyway. I still think it's possible. I would like to see like a governor prequel show. That would be fucking awesome to me, especially because I think the governor's the best character, and adapt the some of the novels, right? So you've of course got Rise of the Governor, and then you've got Road to Woodbury, you've got Fall of the Governor Part 1 and Fall of the Governor Part 2. You can adapt those 4 books and actually do a bit of the Governor. Now, they did take some of it from, they have actually already used some of it. So, for example, the Governor in the novel Rise of the Governor, it's actually the Governor's brother, but the Governor's brother, the Governor and a guy called Nick Parsons, they arrive at this apartment block with someone called April, who's basically Lily in the show, right? And Tara Chandler, who's obviously Tara in the show. Although Tara in the novel is like a fat chick with a Woody Woodpecker tattoo on her tit. And Kirkman has this really weird thing in his like early novels, especially, where he really likes to point out the fat characters and the black characters. It's really weird how he's like, the big black man came through that. Like, it's really weird. Kirkman's got some weird writing styles, but yeah, anyway, they go. So but my point being is they have actually adapted some of the storyline from the novels already, and obviously there's some stuff they're just not going to be able to do, like the Fall of the Governor. They won't be able to do that stuff, right? Because obviously they've already done it. So they would have to like Lily as a character, like Lily Cole in the books is obviously very different to Lily Chandler in the show. Lily Chandler in the show is basically just April in the books, but not even that, because April's, I think, a lot more hardy of a survivor. So I don't know, they could like work around it though and adapt stuff a little bit. I think that could be, I feel like there's a way that they could take some of the stuff from the novel and then just kind of come up with some stuff on their own. And in that regard, the governor would be the main lead, and you'd have people like is he here? Oh no, is he in the M? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you have people like Martinez in like a supporting role. I would like to see that, actually. I don't care. I know it's probably it's more difficult to do because it's just been so many years, and obviously a lot of these actors and stuff have aged, and then you probably wouldn't be able to get a lot of the different extras back, for example. But in like an ideal world, I would love to see it. I think it's probably pretty impractical, but yeah, I would love to see like a Governor spin-off, like a prequel. And it doesn't even have to, it could just be like a mini-series. It could be like 6 episodes, and I think they could probably wrap up the story in that, right? And we could literally end with them seeing the helicopter crash, right? Perfect way to end it. We could start it with the Governor being scared, obviously, with Penny. And obviously Penny would be like a supporting role in this as well. Yeah, the Governor, Penny, and then we could have the Governor's brother as well, and we could just reverse the roles and have the Governor's brother be a snivelling pussy, yeah? And like the Governor is in the books. Because in the books, the Governor's the snivelling pussy and his brother's like a badass, and then obviously the Governor kind of forces himself to become basically his brother after his brother dies. But I think there's a world where you could still do that, but instead of the latter happening, you just have the Governor kill his brother. Perfect. There you go. And that's kind of how it, and because the Governor does mention his brother in the TV show, so we know he existed. And we've got Aaron. People talk about like an Aaron and Gabriel spin-off, and I do feel like that could work. I think there's a few ideas I have for something like that. So I'd put both Aaron and Gabriel as like a spin-off lead. I think that there's a world where that could definitely work. Abraham, I thought about this, but I feel like for the Abraham, I think they could definitely do a really good Tales episode with Abraham, and obviously you'd have Eugene, and because we obviously hear like a lot of their backstory and how they got to Georgia, and all these people that obviously died in the past, and then how they like met Rosita for the first time. So I think there's something you could do there where they meet Rosita, where Abraham meets Rosita for the first time. You could kind of like explore their romance, right? That could be like really interesting. Yeah, and also like how Eugene Fly and all these other people that they've mentioned in the past, and we watch those people die one by one until it's literally just those 3, and it could be a good Tales episode for sure. I would like to see something like that. Eugene. And Eugene would be in the Tails episode. I mean, I guess this just is for any character who's in a Tails episode. But obviously, Eugene probably wouldn't be the main character. I would say it would probably be Abraham as the main character, with that kind of romance story with Rosita kind of taking like a big part of the story, I'd say. As well as like all the people who die and everything. So yeah. And then like with DJ and... Where's a rat? I guess a rat would be here. I put a rat there, but I guess she'd be here. In a kind of... Deanna, I think we're done with. I don't think there's much more you can do with Deanna. I wouldn't want to see how Alexandria was built and all that. Like, I feel like we don't need to see that. We kind of got the down low of all that. Same with obviously Reg. I'd probably say the same with Spencer, wherever he is. Oh, I'll find him late. Oh, there he is. Spencer. Obviously, Sophia did get a cameo in the Daryl Dixon. Technically, I guess she did in season 2. But, so I guess I'll just leave her there because that's already happened. I wouldn't mind if she came back. Like, it would be fine. Otis, I think, was done with. There's not really much more we can do with Otis. Tomas, like all the prisoners are probably going to go here. As much as I would have liked like Oscar to survive a little bit longer, or like Axel to survive a little bit longer, there's not much more we can do with them now. T-Dog, unfortunately, I don't think so. Even like a Tails episode, I just don't think it would be interesting enough. Now, Tyrese, Sasha, I actually feel like this could be, because we kind of hear like a bit of their backstory with Sasha, Tyrese, and like Alan, and like how they were in this neighbor's house. This neighbor called, I think Jerry, was it? Like they were in like a neighbor's house, like in his like bunker, surviving for a bit, and I think he went crazy or some shit. I think that could be interesting. And then how they met Alan and Ben and Donna. Obviously, the actor for Ben is probably aged up quite a bit, but I'm sure they could do something, because that could just be like a little thing at the end of the episode. It doesn't have to be a main thing. I think like the initial kind of Tyrese adapting to this world, because he obviously stayed in the bunker, right, for like months on end. So him kind of, Sasha comes to it really quickly. She like learns the ropes really quickly, whereas Tyrese doesn't. And I think that could be like an interesting early story, because we see that Tyrese struggles to kill people. So maybe he struggled killing the dead at first too, and that could be like an interesting arc for him. And then we could like learn about how, like there's the whole thing where he like saved Donna and Donna had feelings for him. I think a lot of it we learn, and I don't know how interesting it would be just to show it, but I think there's still potential there for like some of the earlier stuff. So yeah, Gamma I'm gonna put with, like, obviously we could see her in the Tails episode that I was talking about, and bring back Gamma's sister Frances too. So yeah, I think there's got a bit of potential there. Jerry, I could see him taking like a supporting role in a spin-off for sure. He wouldn't be like a lead character by any metric, but I definitely think he could take a pretty big supporting role. I feel like Jerry's like a character. He's just not that interesting. Like, they never did anything interesting with him. He's funny and he's a good laugh, and I like him. I met the actor in real life, so and he's great. But I just feel like the character's not got much there. Now, Cal and Eduardo, I think these guys, personally, where's the other one? Where is Eduardo? There he is. So Cal and Eduardo, I don't know why the frick they haven't done this. Why the hell they haven't done this, okay? Cal and Eduardo need to be characters in Dead City. Make them supporting characters in Dead City. Because that way the Bricks feels like it is actually a succession to the Hilltop. Obviously the Hilltop died of old age or whatever, and now they live in the Bricks. Supposedly everyone who lived in the Hilltop now lives in the Bricks, right? But all the faces we see are just new people. Bring back Cal and Eduardo, and like Bertie as well. Bring back those three, and because they never like died, we never saw them die. I think like Cal disappeared and Eduardo disappeared, but bring those two back. Just say that they've been living there the whole time. Who cares? And make them like actual supporting characters, like supporting role. They don't have to be like secondary characters, like or like a recurring character, but they could be like a minor character who we see around, and give them a few things to do, and kill them off if you want to as well. But bring them back, because it just feels weird. The Hilltop looks so... It's just not the Hilltop anymore. Oh, and also Diane as well. That applies for Diane too. Yeah, because she was a Maggie stan as well. Who else have we got? So Dwight, I think both Dwight would be like a great supporting role in like a Negan like prequel show, but as well, obviously Dwight is still alive and doing his thing. I wouldn't mind seeing like what Dwight's doing with the Sanctuary, but at the same time, I feel like his character's probably done at this point. I don't know what much more you can really do with him. I feel like Dwight probably should have been killed off. He's like same with Sherry. Like again, you could show what those two are doing at the Sanctuary, but to be honest, I mean that could be actually a cool way to like flash back to it, right? If they're building this community in the Sanctuary, you could do that to like induce the sort of Negan flashbacks. Yeah, actually no, I think that could work. Kind of like a Better Call Saul type thing, right? Where we start with like a few flash forwards every season, and then we flash back, right? And then maybe we could have like sort of something they learn from that retelling of that story that they apply to their sort of themselves in the present day. That something like that could be actually really interesting. So yeah, no, I'll put them in a supporting role in that regard. But I feel like Negan would be like the main character in that show. Obviously, Merle would be a supporting role in like the Governor prequel series that I was talking about. Heath, I think he should have a supporting role in like season 2 of the CRM, season 2 of The Ones Who Live. I really feel like Heath was done dirty. It would be cool to see him. Make him the villain if you want. Who cares? So as long as it can make sense. Dale, I think we're done with Dale. Denise, I think we're done with Denise. Earl, I think we're done with Earl. Eastman, as much as I really like this character and I think it could be cool, I feel like I don't want to see the story that he told, because he tells it so well. Like the dialogue in Here's Not Here is so fucking good, and the way he tells the story is so tragic. And I feel like actually seeing Eastman, like, and the whole Crichton Dallas Wilton and stuff, it would just like, I feel like it would just take away from Here's Not Here. So for me, I feel like Eastman is fine where he is. We don't need to see any more of him. So maybe a cameo at best, actually. Yeah, if they were to do more with Morgan. Oh, speaking of Morgan, where are you? Where are you? Where are you, my crazy Clary boy? Can he find him? Oh, I need to do alpha. He should be here. Oh, there he is. Haha. Morgan. So, I personally would like him to appear in some sort of show. Whether it be The Ones Who Live, whether it be something else. I mean, maybe even just a supporting role in The Ones Who Live. But I would like to see him come back, reunite with Rick, have him, with obviously Mo, his daughter Mo, and have him just do something. And if we have to kill him off, we kill him off, right? It's time to kill some of the big hitters off. I feel these guys in the top, opposed from the Governor, obviously. Some of these guys need to die. So bring back Morgan. Give him some cool story, maybe a sacrifice or some shit, right? Let's kill him off. Or, because, Jesus Christ, they're keeping too many characters alive, I feel. So, yeah. But I would like to see more of Morgan, for sure. And as well, at the same time, I think there's potential for, like a Tales episode, too. Because I think, like, seeing him in his clear moment, like, after he first lost his son, that could be interesting. Dwayne is kind of, I think at this point we're done with Dwayne. We don't need to see any more of Dwayne. I don't think there's any point doing like flashbacks or anything like that. And obviously the actor's too old for that shit now as well. Ed, we're done with Ed. Enid, I think we're done with Enid. Eric, done with Eric. Gage, we're done with Gage. Gareth, I think we're done with. I think we learned everything we needed to know about Terminus. Although I think there's a possibility of doing like an early Terminus story, but to be honest, I don't think it'd be that interesting. And then like people like Gary, these guys would be like supporting roles, obviously, in the cameo roles. I think Gary would be a cameo role. Gavin could be like a supporting role though in the Negan prequel show that I think they could potentially do. Joe, I think we're done with. I think the last time we saw him was obviously in the web episode, and I think there was a nice like little tie-in, like a nice cameo for him. But apart from that, I think we're done with like the Claimers and Joe. Gregory, I feel like we're done. I don't think we need to see any more Gregory. Same with Dr. Carson. Same with Henry, unfortunately, although I would have liked Henry to survive a bit longer. Jadis, I think we're done with. Although maybe a cameo in The Ones Who Live season 2, I think possibly. Just to like tie up that story if we need to. Luke, I think we're done with. Oh wait, no, yeah, no, he died. We are done with him. I don't think we need to see more of him. Actually, wait. No, okay. Here's my point. So I think actually, Luke, Magna, Connie. What's Connie? Connie and Kelly. Probably we could maybe do like a Tails episode right before they arrive in Yumiko as well. Before they meet Judith and everything, right? Before they sort of meet the main group, and yeah, I think that a Tails episode could be quite good for those guys, just to sort of flesh them out a bit more, really give them like a full 40 minutes to shine, give them their own episode, and if you want, you could just like focus more on like someone like Kelly and Luke, right? Or you could focus more on Connie and Kelly and their sort of dynamic, and again, like I was saying with the whole Negan thing with Dwight, you could tie it to the present day too. As well, they probably could also appear in some of the spin-off shows, like The Ones Who Live or Daryl Dixon Season 2 for Connie, for example, if you wanted to do something like that. I'm still trying to find Kelly. There she is. You could still do that, but I think like those characters are probably done, in my opinion, other than a Tails episode. Like, I know they never went down the whole Daryl and Connie relationship, but I'm just saying, Connie probably could also be a supporting role in the Daryl Dixon thing if they really wanted to. Okay, so who else have we got? She-Ra, unironically, supporting role just because I want them to fucking finish this stupid storyline. I think like she just kind of goes missing, so I want some answers of what happened to She-Ra. Now, this might actually come into my second proposed thing, and this will be the same for Eugene. So I said he was in a Tails episode, but actually, oh god. So Eugene will have some overlap with supporting role for this as well, just to let you know. But Mercer and Ezekiel show, I think has some potential. Doing something with the Commonwealth, especially like with the connection to the CRM. Now, whether this ties into the this could tie into The Ones Who Live though, but I feel like that would make it a bit of a bloated show. Or actually, maybe not. Yeah, have like a B plot in The Ones Who Live season 2. In the Commonwealth. Some shit going down in the Commonwealth with Lance's connections. Although I'm not sure how much those connections were. Because it was like Designation 2 that Connie was to be sent with, and we never knew what that was going to be. Like, what if let's just say the Commonwealth knew about the CRM the whole time. Fuck it, just go with it. Although I don't know how. That's always weirded me out, because it was. Because Lance talks about his alliances, but when I first watched that, I thought he was talking about like the opium farm, right? All these like little offshoots he has. I thought he was talking about that, because that opium farm apparently supports the hospital, but it's off the books. So that's what I thought he was talking about when he said like certain alliances will go, But maybe he was just talking about the Commonwealth, and we'll go with that. So maybe that could be like a B plot, and those two could take like a B plot. And I guess Eugene could also, but at the same time, I think we're probably also done with Eugene. So maybe leave Eugene, but Princess, of course, could be there. We could just mention like Eugene's off screen with Max. We don't have Max. We don't need Max there either. Well, I guess you could. I may have like a cameo, maybe at best. But I think we'll leave Eugene and Max alone. They're sort of happy and settled, so they don't need to be in the conflict. Okay, Annie. Annie needs to come back in a supporting role, I feel, for Dead City Season 2. Even if that is just to have her killed. Now, in my personal opinion, to get past the whole Maggie-Negan rivalry, I feel like Maggie needs to somehow get Annie killed, or Negan's son killed. But Annie, especially, so Negan has to raise his son, right, as a widow. So sort of Maggie makes Negan what Negan made her, kind of thing. And I think there's a little bit of justice there. Yeah. So that's my personal opinion on Annie. That's how I think you would make her a bit more interesting by killing her off. Ha ha ha. Sam, we're done with. Ron, we're done with. Gilmero and the Vatos, I think, could make a Tails episode. I don't know how plausible it would be, but in like an ideal world, I would like to see like how the Vatos actually fell. I know there's like theories it was the governor, and that could be, again, that could also tie in with the governor prequel show idea I was talking about. So yeah, I mean, either or. Honestly, I'm done with the Oceanside. I don't want to see any Oceanside shit. I was thinking about it, but actually no. They were always boring. I can't be arsed. And that goes for you, Jules. Where are you? There you are. Boom, get in there. She-Ra, I think we're done with. I I don't think there's any point seeing like early Ezekiel. We kind of get the lowdown, and I don't think it's particularly interesting. Lizzie, Mika, we're done with. Lily, I think we're done with. Laurie, I think again we're probably done with. I don't even think a cameo for Laurie. It just wouldn't make sense this sort of late into the story where Rick's already like moved on. Jesse, I think we're done with as well. Glenn, sadly, I think we're probably done with, but I would, in an ideal world, like to see a cameo, like I was talking about with Beth. A cameo with Maggie, like an earlier sort of flashback scene with Maggie and Glenn would be like really nice to see in like Dead City. So yeah, but I don't think we'll probably see it, but in an ideal world. Nicholas, I think we're done with. Noah, although I think it would have been cool if he stayed along for longer, around for longer. I think we're done with Noah. I guess actually thinking about it, Gregory probably could take a supporting role in the Negan prequel show. Maybe. And also Alden as well. Yeah, or a cameo. I'd say a cameo for these two. Yeah, I put them, Alden and Gregory, in cameo at best for the Negan prequel show. Who else have we got? Richard, I think we're done with. Laura, I think a cameo probably. With the whole Negan thing I was talking about. Rachel, I said, we're no Oceanside. Simon probably would take like a supporting role in the Negan show, I feel. So, yeah, I'll put him there. Jared, I think, would probably have a cameo in the Negan show, and again, in an ideal world. Same with Dr. Emmett Carson. I guess Harlan would be there as well. Where did I put Harlan? Yeah, I put him in a cameo as well. And I guess that means that Jesus would have to be a cameo. But I wouldn't want much more than a cameo from Jesus. I feel like I'm done with Jesus for the most part. Lucille, I feel it's done with. Again, I guess there's a cameo, like a flashback scene with her and Negan could work. But in my proposed show with like Dwight's retelling, it would be like a flashback within a flashback. So maybe we are just done with Lucille, actually. But there'll be like mentions of her. I think that's enough. Oh, God. Elijah and Lydia, like if we were to do something with the Commonwealth, whether that be like a Mercer spin-off or a just something to do with them in the Ones Who Live, I guess Elijah and Lydia probably could play a role in that, but they also probably could play a role in Dead City, like season 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it may be. So I could unironically see both of them. Where is she? There she is. Like playing a role in either like whatever they decide to do with the Commonwealth and, you know, the Ones Who Live going forward, if they are to do that, and if they don't, fair enough, whatever. But if not, I feel like in an ideal world, they could also be in Dead City season 2, right? They could be like, because they're like messengers, right? They bring messages back and forth. So that could be kind of interesting. And those two could play a role, especially like Elijah, because she was like close to Maggie. But the other guys like Cole and Frost, I think we're done with. I think we're done with Pope. Maybe a Tales episode. Maybe. I don't know if I would like it that much, but I could maybe see a Tales episode with the Reapers. Maybe like how they took down Meridian and all that. Maybe. Herschel, I think he's fine in his supporting role in Dead City. Gracie, where was Gracie? Gracie was fine. Again, like if they were to do the Gabriel Aaron spin-off, then Gracie would probably take a supporting role in that. Martin we're done with. Fat Joey, I guess a cameo at best for the Negan thing. Olivia we're done with. Milton would probably take a supporting role in the Governor prequel show that I was on about, because obviously he was like one of the Governor's like sort of top guys, like one of the people he was closest to. So yeah, Tyler Davis we're done with. I guess Vickers could probably have like a cameo or maybe a supporting role in the Mercer Commonwealth spin-off thing, or Ones Who Live season 2. I don't know how big of a character she would really be, but she could probably be in that. Yeah, maybe we'll kill her off quickly. Haha. Dawn, I think we're done with. I don't know if I would like to even see like actually. I would like to see I probably should have added Stephen Edwards, the Doctor, or Shepard. I would like to see a Great Immemorial, like how they fell, because obviously it was confirmed they're all dead. But actually seeing how they all died would be cool. And obviously Dawn was dead, so she wouldn't be a part of that. So I'm putting her here. But just to know that I would like to know how they came to die. That would be an interesting Tales episode, in my opinion. Owen, I think we're done with. Patricia, we're definitely done with. Dr. Pete, we're done with. Randall, I think we're done with. Shane, I think probably no more for Shane. I don't even think I would like to see a cameo from Shane. I think that last cameo was probably a nice bookend to Shane's character. I probably wouldn't want to see much more from him. Tobin, I think we're done with. Tammy, no more Tammy. Morales, okay, this would be a good Tales episode. I generally feel like it could be. They killed him off so unceremoniously. So to actually kind of like explain like how he lost his family and how he joined the Savers, I think could be like a really interesting Tales episode and actually like explain that whole thing, because he was like traveling south but somehow ended up north. That was silly. Dr. Jenner. I honestly feel like the War Beyond cameo is probably fine. I don't think we need to see any more of him, really. So yeah, Karen, I think we're done with. Jackie, we're done with. Regina, probably a cameo or maybe like a supporting role in the Negan prequel series, which I think could work. You know, in an ideal world. Brandon, okay. So I feel like Brandon could be a cameo in the Negan prequel series. Obviously, when he was a boy, like I feel like that could be kind of cool, right? We meet like Negan, you know, Brandon's dad, whoever he may be, and Negan's like, that kid's a little shit. What's he doing? And he's like, oh, Brandon, stop it! Come on, Brandon, because obviously Brandon was like a boy during the All Out War story arc, and he kind of had this like twisted view of Negan. So yeah, that could be kind of cool as like a little cameo, but that would be like at most. Okay, Dante, again, probably, no, because Alpha met Dante during the Winter Storm, so, actually, no, we actually are done with Dante. We wouldn't actually see him in a Whisperer sort of Tales episode. Okay, so now we've got a few extras. I think Sadiq we're probably done with. Tommy, maybe a cameo at best. Pamela, probably maybe actually a supporting role, because if like some shit goes down with the CRM, right, she could be like a someone, you know, Mercer talks to in the cell type deal, right? I think we're done with Sebastian. We're done with Lance, although he definitely would get a mention if like the Commonwealth shit kind of goes down, right? And then we got some Tara. I think we're done with Tara. I don't think there's much more we could really do with Tara. So, yeah. Maybe a cameo, but, I mean, not even. Bob, I would actually like to see a Tales episode of, like, how Bob lost his original group. I do feel like that could be, like, some good potential there. And then, like, Scott, I guess, would take, like, a maybe at best a supporting role in, like, either the Aaron and Gabriel show or if they were to do, like, the Commonwealth show. Dog needs to return. I know the dog actor has unfortunately died, which is sad, but I would like to see, and they could probably CGI it. it's a bit different to a human. CGI dead dog. I would like to see Dog make like one last appearance, right? And maybe he's like maybe when Daryl gets back, Dog's like all withered and old, and he passes away. That could be like a brutal reunion. But yeah, and then Virgil. Honestly, I don't know. I don't care. Part of me doesn't care. Part of me wants to know what happened to him because he just kind of disappears. But part of me also just does not care. But maybe a cameo at best. We'll put him there. So there you go. That's every character who I think should have got a spin-off. And then obviously these are the guys who I don't think probably deserve to be in a spin-off. Or don't need to be in a spin-off. Or can't be in a spin-off. These guys, I think, could probably have a cameo, and I sort of discussed the various potential spin-off ideas, obviously, in the video there, that they could potentially do. But personally, my personal opinion, I just want to see spin-offs, like, from new characters. We're done with these characters. We've seen some of them for, like, many years. I would like The Walking Dead to, like, you know, take a new step forward. Let's have some new characters, new spin-offs, new worlds, new countries, new continents. That would be cool. But, yeah. That's my piece, though. I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know if you disagree. And if you do, you're wrong. No, I'm joking, of course. But I'll see you in the next one. Good bizzle.